listening to the sounds of the runners squeaking on the floor, the team chatter, the referee whistles, the clapping, the ball hitting the floor. It stops, and I remember the date, October 15th. You would have been 59 today if your life had not been cut so short. I think of who you were and what you accomplished despite your obstacles. And I think you would have been proud to know the Tabor CNIB that you started so many years ago and love so dearly still goes on because of you. Patcee Leahy Jensen started her life in the Tabor Hospital on October 15, 1952. The second daughter of Marie and Don Leahy, her life was pretty much like any other farm kid from the baby boomer era. She eventually became a big sister to 6 other girls and one brother, Kevin. She was always getting into misadventures, most of which quickly became a part of our family lore. Remember the pot stuck on her head when trying to pretend she had a helmet? Or the open syrup can incident in which she was trying to prove to us that centrifugal force works. Well, it does, but only if you spin the can fast enough. But Patcee was always there when I needed her. In grade 1, I had an attack of homesickness. I wouldn't stop crying until the teacher let me move my desk to her grade 6 classroom and spend the rest of the afternoon beside her. Patcee made friends easily and liked to be involved in everything. She joined the school folk group, helped out with student council, assisted Sheila run for rodeo queen, and then she got her license. Luckily, Mom and Dad never knew how much she was addicted to driving fast, even down those gravel roads. I remember sitting in the back seat of her yellow car as a young girl and watching the speedometer race up over to 100 miles per hour. Somehow, in between having a lot of fun, though, Patcee managed to do very well at school. When she graduated, she went off to university with the dream of becoming a speech therapist. But the call to marriage and motherhood was stronger. In 1971, she returned to Tabor and her dreams began to change. By 1976, she had 2 daughters, Andrea and Jennifer. And even though she juggled being a young married mom, working part-time at places like Quill Stationery Store for Louis Bemby, I could still count on her when I needed her. I remember one day when I was in high school getting sick at school, and the relief I felt when Patcee pulled up to the curb in front of the school in that big old yellow car again, and to take me to her place so she could take good care of me. Patcee remained a very vital part of our family, always one to make us laugh. She was fun-loving, but a little misadventurous. I remember the day she grabbed a set of pliers and, just for fun, she pinched Dad's nose, only to leave him with a huge bruise that lasted for weeks. And Patcee, always the klutz, one day played volleyball in her living room with her daughters, tripped over the piano bench, and broke her foot. But late one night in September 1976, my pink princess phone rang in my university dorm room. "Patcee's been shot," Mom managed to say. With that call, her life and ours changed forever. That night, Patcee was the innocent victim of a violent shooting that left her blind, permanently disfigured, and suffering from many other related injuries for the rest of her life. Rushed to the foothills Calgary with critical head wounds, Patcee spent the next few months in and out of a coma. After almost a year, she came home a different woman, her body fragile from the devastating injuries. She would spend several weeks in and out of hospitals each year for the rest of her life, especially in the first few years after her injury. Part of the Patcee we knew was still there, but a new Patcee had also emerged. This Patcee had to relearn all her basic daily living skills. Once fiercely independent, she had to now rely on others to help her. Patcee tried to learn how to take care of her girls as best as she could. Even though she couldn't read her beloved books to them, she made up fantastic stories for her girls and sang silly songs to them to keep them entertained. She learned to cook and clean and sort laundry, although sometimes her girls showed up some pretty crazy color combinations. Most of all, she tried to be the best mom she could be. Naturally, it was not easy. She struggled with frustration and depression, but eventually she found help with the CNIB in Calgary and Lethbridge. Through their support, she learned to manage the daily tasks more effectively. Most importantly, the CNIB helped her feel less alone and isolated. Patcee, still being her outgoing self, also loved the socializing she found through her CNIB friends. In 1984, with the never-ending and tireless help of Mom, Marie Leahy, and the support of the Lethbridge chapter of the CNIB, Patcee managed to get a Taber chapter started. Their goal was to reach out to other people in the Taber area who experienced vision loss or blindness. Parkside Manor agreed to let the group use their meeting room on Wednesday afternoons for no fee. The Taber Lions Club provided financial support so that members could enjoy regular meetings that often included a dinner and entertainment. Why did Patcee start this organization? In part because she was lonely and wanted to be with others that shared her experiences. She also felt it was a learning process for herself. She needed something she could do that would stretch herself and use her skills to help others. Patcee made sure that the CNIB provided many social outlets. At meetings, they participated in a variety of activities. May 1966 minutes report, moved by Jesse Reese that we purchase a number of Braille bingo cards. Brian Vey, head of the Lethbridge CNIB, volunteered to bring the Braille and large print cards to the next meeting. Bingo was just one of the many activities enjoyed. For example, participants also learned to play cards using either large print versions or Braille cards. These events provided not only an important social outlet, they also helped participants develop daily coping skills by practicing Braille and communicating with others in a very safe and supportive setting. Patcee wanted to live as normal a life as possible. She still loved to have fun, no matter the obstacle. For example, when we talked about our many ski trips, she also wanted to take up the sport. So, with the support of the CNIB and volunteers such as Kevin, she was hustled off to Westcastle to learn to ski. It wasn't easy, but eventually she made it down the hill. She talked about that day for many years after. Because she got such pleasure from activities such as the ski trip, Patcee wanted to make sure others had similar opportunities. She made sure the group included other fun events such as field trips to Fort Whoop-Up or the Galt Museum in Lethbridge, or bowling outings at the Taber Bowling Centre. The March 25, 1987 meeting minutes stated, "We discussed the programs for April, May, and June. It was suggested we invite the Taber Community Band to play at Confederation Park Gazebo, followed by a picnic lunch in the park. Patcee will contact Milt Iverson or Don Harding to arrange." Lunch at that meeting was once again provided by the Lady Lions, and the entertainment was provided by Mike and Yvette Whalen. Of course, the meetings did not only focus on entertainment. Important living skills were also a key focus. The February 1987 meeting discussed a 2-week living skills program held at the Anglican Church, which offered CNIB members and their families an introduction to Braille and provided practical tips such as strategies for color-coding clothing and labeling household items, as well as methods for safe and effective household cleaning. Everyone found the course very worthwhile, and all found the workshop for family acceptance was most helpful, stated the minutes. In 1988, thanks to the help of the CNIB, the Lions Club, our community, and of course Mom and Dad, Patcee made a trip to Toronto to pick up her guide dog Boomer. Boomer led to vast improvements in her life. I will never forget that warm summer evening when we went for our first walk with Boomer once they returned. She walked proudly beside us, with Boomer instead of us taking the lead. partway down the gravel road, she took a deep sigh and gleefully proclaimed, "Oh, I feel so good to be free." Patcee continued to be a key player in the CNIB for the rest of her life, serving as a president for many years. This group has been an important support for many. In the words of Marilyn Fletcher, who first came to the group to support her mom and who herself is now a member, it taught us coping skills such as folding money in a certain way so it was easy to count, to set up our dinner plates using the clock system, and much more. It helped decrease our sense of isolation and helped us to feel not so alone. And most importantly, it gave us a sense of belonging and a chance to get out. Today, the Lions Club continues to be one of the group's largest supporters. Sponsorship continues and the Ladies Lions still do the lunches. Mom, of course, still steps in to take care of lunch when they can't, and she still drives members to meetings, just as she has done for over 25 years. And the Tabor CNIB continues to provide fellowship and hope to members because of you.